What is going on, everybody? Happy Halloween. Happy Vikings Colts pregame video here. Don't know what happened with Jamie. He must be off tonight. I got a replacement. What's going on, masked guy? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, Jamie, that dude's a fucking idiot. So you're better off having me anyways. Let's do some shout outs here though. Right away. I saw my guy Nick Riley in here. Turf toe for cashing my ass. It looks like Riley is coming in here a little upset, which I mean, I do understand the defense needs to step up, as we'll probably go into obviously as we keep going here. My dude Gary in the building. Happy Halloween, by the way, everybody. Because of that, I'm a big Halloween guy, obviously. So we're going to give away a Ivan Pace Jr. autograph rookie card. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. All those good things. Keep it going, though. I saw my boy Skol for Life Barber. What's going on, Gary? Sup, Nick? Let's go. Two-toned in the building right here. My dude, let's go, let's go, let's go. But yeah, get those hashtag Skols in the comments if you want to have your chance at winning an Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card, autographed. On top of that, all that good stuff. I know we're probably going to miss some people tonight. Anyone that has kids going out for Halloween, but if not, should be here. Anyways, just going into initial thoughts of the games, man. What you thinking?
Well, obviously, look, it's hard to call any game a must-win to where, must-win means if you win, you're out of the playoff picture, you're out of the hunt, you're eliminated, whatever. So this isn't necessarily a must-win game, but it's a game that's very, very important, right? You had a tough 5-day stretch, losing 2 games in a row against the Lions and then Thursday Night Football against the Rams. Both really, really frustrating, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, self-inflicted penalties, defense getting carved up by both offenses. So, off a 5-0 start, and then those last 2 games, it's easy. It's kind of easy to get down on yourself. I think it's easy to lose that confidence you built in those first 5 weeks. So this really feels like a good week to get back on track against what I would call an inferior opponent. Kind of the start of the schedule and the stretch of the schedule where you're supposed to be feeling confident. Like these next 4 games feel like they should be pretty easy for you. Obviously, with the Colts starting Joe Flacco over Anthony Richardson, I honestly think that makes it a much tougher matchup. We saw what we've done against veteran quarterbacks the last couple of weeks, and Joe Flacco. It's crazy how Joe Flacco is getting more love now than he did when he won a Super Bowl in Baltimore. Like, people were questioning, does Joe Flacco deserve the money? Would he really do anything? And now everybody loves Joe Flacco. I mean, again, with the Browns, he played really. With the Browns, he brought them to the playoffs, right? This year with the Colts, I mean, he's getting the start over Anthony Richardson. When he's been in there, the offense has moved efficiently and effectively. So, again, don't want to call us a must-win, but it's a very, very important game, and a game that just got, I think, a lot more difficult with the insertion of Joe Flacco into the offense. So, again, it's a team that's not very good. I mean, they have some talent on offense. Defensively, you can get after them, as we'll talk about in a bit here. So, I don't know. But, again, not must-win, but this one just feels really, really important to get back on track.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And just that's the interesting about the whole Joe Flacco thing. Like, every single time we play a team, like, either players are coming back, they're switching to the quarterback that we'd rather not play. Finally grew out of a Tic Tac nuts. Dang, that's crazy. But that mask actually makes it sound like Jamie finally grew. Yeah, that dude has a bitch voice, if you ask me. But no, every single time we play a team, we keep having to play against, like, the player that we wouldn't want to, because the reality is, like, I don't think the Colts. I don't know. I don't think the Colts are. They're not that bad of a team. I mean, their defense isn't struggling immensely. The coverage isn't the greatest, but then on offense, you got a lot of players there. I mean, you got a good wide receiver core in Michael Pittman Jr. You got Josh Downs. You got who else have they got there? They got, what's that?
Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce, and then obviously Richardson just could not get the most out of them. And when Joe Flacco plays, that whole team does a lot better, it seems like. So, I don't know. And we know how we play against veteran quarterbacks. But on paper, this should be one of the easiest games we have. Probably, I mean, you could argue that this team would lose to the Giants. So, What's going on, Mark, by the way?
I think we opened as 7-point favorites. And then obviously being the home team helps you there too. But then after Flacco got inserted, it dropped 2 points to 5-point favorites. So I don't know. It just it feels like one of those. It almost, I don't know. It feels like a game that you should win, but it almost kind of feels trap game like, to where you're coming off a bad stretch. You feel like you can get back on track against this team, and they're a team that's overall record wise and kind of what we've seen this year not very good. But again, Joe Flacco changes everything. I think. Again, still a game that I think we'll find a way to pull off. But I don't know. It's a big one though. It's Sunday Night Football, national stage. There's a lot to talk about this game. So I don't know. It's a big game and very, very important. We got to find a way to get a W here.
Dude, 100%. And I mean, I think ultimately we will. I'm going to be giving my predictions actually early soon here before I dip. But overall, I mean, this is a game you absolutely need to win. If you lose this one, I think we're panicking. We're definitely hitting the panic button a little bit. You kind of feel like, we were hoping the Rams was going to be the beginning of this like easy part of our schedule. Obviously, with Cooper Kupp back and as well as with Puka coming back, it made that matchup a lot more difficult. But then the real easy part of the schedule starts now with the Colts, Jaguars, the Titans. I mean, these are teams that we should absolutely beat. So we'll see what's up. And it really just starts with this Colts team. And obviously, we have a lot of keys to victories that we're going to be going into in a little bit here. But again, everybody in here, we're giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto. Get the hashtag Skol, a little Halloween special here. Hashtag Skol in the comments, like the video and subscribe. Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, anything else for initial thoughts for you?
No, that's kind of it. Like let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Let's do it. Let's jump into some injuries here.
Sorry, the new guy's gonna be a little bit slower. We got to give him some time to work through
it. We're good here. So injuries. I'll put those up here.
Obviously, when it comes to the Viking side, nothing really out of the ordinary. I mean, we kind of had a feeling Cashman probably wasn't going to be back for this game. Taki Taimani didn't practice either. I mean, he hasn't been getting a ton of reps no matter what. So, I mean, that one I'm not really concerned about. The Cashman one does hurt a little bit. I shouldn't say a little bit. Hurts a lot. I mean, we've kind of seen what's happened with, especially the middle of that defense in the run game, mainly. Since Cashman's been out, still dealing with that turf toe. I know those can be pretty rough to deal with. So, unfortunately, it looks like Cashman will not be out there. Other than that, though, everyone's full participation. TJ Hawkinson, Kevin O'Connell said this week he's going to be ready to go and not on any sort of a snap count or anything like that. So he's good to go. Then Dalton Reisner I'm not 100% sure if they'll activate him yet. I think they need to activate him by next Monday. But yeah, I mean, and it really does sound like the Ed Ingram leash is pretty short. I mean, I think I saw Purple Persuasion retweeted Ben Gessling's conversation saying that he feels like there's a good chance in the next couple weeks here, maybe even this week, that we see Ingram, Reisner, and they're getting some starting snaps at right guard. So sounds like a pretty short leash for Ingram. So it'd be nice to see Reisner get back on the field. But yeah, really the only injury on the Vikings side to talk about is Blake Cashman. Unfortunate, but kind of is what it is there. And then as for the as for the Colts, Kwity Paye was limited. Bernard Ryman, DNP, so he's most likely going to be out here, but it looks like everybody else should play. So both teams will pretty much be at full strength here. Should be a pretty solid matchup.
Yeah, dude. And like you said, I mean, obviously we're going to go into TJ Hawkinson more in depth because it's obvious that he's going to play. He's not going to be on snap count. Dalton Reisner is still an interesting one. I think a lot of us were kind of hoping we'd see him on the offensive line. Quisenberry, obviously, I'm assuming we'll see Cam Robinson right away at left tackle. And then on the other side, there isn't much there going on, but that's pretty much it for injuries. Let's go into, again, everybody, giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. auto. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. Do it. we'll keep on moving on here, though. But before doing that, let's. I want to give my early predictions right away for this game here. Hold on, let me answer some comments here. It's so Jamie, look at the man. The fingernails when you hold up a card, but that motherfucker gets pedicures too. That's crazy. He probably does. I agree, Gary. That dude's a bitch. Bro's 40 makes him flustered. His ass isn't running anywhere. Facts. I heard the echo in the background. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is you need to get them hashtag Skols in here right now and like the video if you haven't already, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. This isn't a low card. This is Ivan Pave Jr. rookie auto. But anyways, let's jump into my predictions here. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
For my first prediction, Justin Jefferson is a creature unleashed to terrorize the Colts' hapless defense. With a 60.4 pass rate and the Colts allowing a horrifying 9.3 yards per target, the highest in the league, Jefferson will feast on every inch of their territory. Under the dark cover of the dome, nothing stopped him from storming past 150 yards. Jefferson will haunt their secondary all night. Next, the air thickens as Darnold carves his way to over 3 touchdowns in this perfect setup. The Colts secondary bleeds the second highest completion rate, 76.5%, while the Vikings red zone pass rate of 57.8% feeds him endless chances to strike. With 130 plays of pain projected, Darnold will unleash an inferno, scorching the end zone time and time again. And then we've got TJ Hawkinson, who's been summoned back into the lineup to wreak havoc in the red zone against a defense ranked among the least worst against tight ends. His path to 2 touchdowns is lined with despair, no escape, no salvation, just an inescapable path into the end zone. And lastly, Flacco's nightmare unfolds against a relentless Vikings defense with the highest interception rate in the league. As a 5-point underdog, Flacco will be forced to test this defense, only to throw his soul and the ball into darkness. Flacco will surrender over 3 interceptions to the Vikings, sealing his fate. Minnesota Vikings win 33-10. Oh yeah, and Jamie's takes suck and he's a little bitch.
Fuck that guy, am I right?
Now that was artistry. I'm sorry, man. We might need to have a little conversation when we're done here. I think I need to get that guy. I need to get that guy on this live stream for sure. So we'll see. But that we can.
That dude kind of sounded like a dick.
We can talk about that after the stream though. We'll have our discussions then. We'll talk about it. But anyway, so what are your thoughts on this?
On my thoughts,
you think we're gonna win? Do you agree with that guy?
33-10. I like it. Prior to the last couple games, that would have been an easy 33-10 all day. That is like the type of score we would get if we make that comeback or bounce back game. So we'll see. Obviously, I'll give my score predictions and everything as we keep going throughout this show. All that good stuff. But let me answer some comments here, because hear the voice inflection is Jamie. Look at him trying to be tough. Laugh my ass out. What's going on here, guys? What do you I don't even know what you're talking about. All I know is still not enough people have hashtag Skol for the Ivan Pace Jr. auto. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. Your alter ego. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know how the guy don't know what he's talking. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. You tricked us. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But anyways, keys to victory. Let's jump right into that. Get this show on a roll for real this time. Let's see here. Boom. Starting with number 5. We're going to go our top 5 to victories. Our top 5 keys to victory. At number 5, establish the run with the boy Aaron Jones. Casey, what is your thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously, the first thing I always do when we look into these matchups is I go on Fox Sports Network has a good rankings of defenses, and the Colts as of this week check in at 30th in the league, allowing just over 150 yards rushing per game. So look, and the key to consistent offense is being able to run the football and run it effectively to open up your passing game and the play action game and all that and all the different facets of your offense. Aaron Jones has been a nice spark plug to this offense this year. We know that. Looking at Mark Phil's comment, yeah, run by committee. Yes, we have Jones, and I get that he's the most effective running back on your team, but they do need to incorporate Cam Akers into this game a little bit more, I think. Take some of the workload off Aaron Jones. But again, against a defense like this, giving up that many yards per game against the run, you should be able to strike early and often in the run game. Now, does that mean we want to see runs on every first down like we've seen the last couple of weeks? No. But the key to getting the offense going the way you want it to is establish the run. And against a defense like this, it should be pretty easy going. The offensive line's been really solid in run blocking this year, so that's where it starts. That's kind of where it all starts for me. Is get the running game going early. And it's going to open up everything else on your offense. Maintain the ball, chew some clock, convert some third downs. The offense needs to be more effective and more consistent. It all starts with running the football.
Yeah, dude. 100%. And like you were saying, like, it would be interesting to get some Cam Akers out here and, like we said, keep Jones fresh a little bit. I mean, he's our almost 30 years old, and he's had the most carries in his entire career, and this is a guy that we'll probably want to bring back next year. I know me and you both, I mean, we're hoping to get a young rookie running back in the draft, but I think you definitely want to do whatever you can to keep Aaron Jones around. It's obvious that the wear and tear isn't affecting him as much, or he hasn't had as much wear and tear as a lot of these other running backs, guys like Delvin Cook. How often do you get pedicures and manicures? Never. That wasn't me, bro. That wasn't me. I got man hands, bro. Not really, but anyways, Aaron Jones, obviously super stud. We got to set up this pass. We're seeing it a lot. Last game, we were using Aaron Jones a lot early. We started not seeing him as much later on. It seems like a lot of the times with Kevin O'Connell, the beginning of the games, and people are calling it scripted plays or whatever, the first part of the game, the first quarter, and just that's one thing that you can tell is the big difference between that quarter and the rest of the game is just the perfect timing of using the running backs. I mean, we were watching the game, and I think within the first two drives that we had, which we scored on both of them, we were waiting for them to not run on first down, to do a play action on first down, and he was doing that. But then later to the game, it was a lot of first down runs, and then, of course, during the ends of the game, when we really need to score, you're seeing a couple of runs in a row there, which I'm not really liking at that point. But in the beginning, establish the run, open up everything for your guys on offense, your wide receivers, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson as well. And then, of course, I mean, Justin Jefferson. I think the combo of opening things up early with Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones seems like definitely a key to victory so far of any of our wins we've had. So
for sure. Yep, absolutely. So get Jones the ball, get Akers involved, run the football, set up the offense. Simple.
Keep on going, though. We're going to stick with the offense again with keys to victory, being aggressive offensively. Again, like I just mentioned there, towards the end of the games, like the one against the Lions, when we ran it, when there was like 4 minutes left, and then we decided to run it like twice in a row instead of going for a first down or at least trying to get a field goal or whatever, ultimately losing that Lions game. And then last week, again, we don't go for it on fourth down. We're down by 4 points. You just kick a field goal and you're still down by 1. So that doesn't really make that much sense to me at that point. And during that little stretch at the end there, that's where we ran it twice. Kevin O'Connell, that's the biggest thing for him is when we're up, or even when it's close, but it's generally mainly when we're up is when he pulls off the gas a little bit, or he doesn't make, I guess, the gutsy plays, but sometimes you just have to. I mean, it's hard to win in the NFL, and sometimes you got to just be more like a Dan Campbell, even if it doesn't work all the time.
For sure. And Mark, we'll get to Sam Darnold and all that in a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, look. So yes, I mean, I think some people when they see, I mean, obviously number 5 was establish the run. Number 4 is be aggressive. I think sometimes people view those two things as being polar opposites of each other. Like you can't be aggressive if you're going to run the football, but if you're running the football to set up the rest of your offense, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. And with O'Connell, as everybody knows, the second and third quarter, can be a little bit mysterious. Like for some reason, they just
Hey, what up, Kinetic?
Hey, what's going on, Kinetic? For some reason, the offense does find ways to just unfortunately disappear at times.
Hey,
second, third quarter.
my guy,
Hey,
Young
come on,
Smokey. Thank you.
Nice.
Key numbers, freaking 1 defense, fucking force passing, complete off was perfect comp rate. Stafford over 80%. Yeah, and we're gonna get into that actually pretty soon here. My dude, appreciate you popping in. Hey, let's go. Sorry, Casey, I had to jump in on that.
Oh, we got to stop for that. Yeah, but going back to the offense thing, it's like, I mean, and I guess Justin Jefferson was talking today, and he did mention that O'Connell, that he said like it almost sounds like O'Connell's going to try to simplify the offense a little bit, and that's something I know Purple for the Win had mentioned. Maybe that's at times where the pre-snap penalties and the delay of games come from, is maybe there's just too much going on at the line of scrimmage. So it does sound like, instead of, all that type of behind the scenes stuff and setting up the play and the cans and all that type of stuff, it sounds like Jefferson is saying that because O'Connell had said himself on Paul Allen's show, he kind of wants to make like a fast break offense, so getting the ball out quicker, and that is a big thing. It's like you just feel like it's too much run the ball, some sort of long developing pass play. Now, again, is it Kevin O'Connell to Sam Darnold? We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But I do think I like it. It sounds like Kevin O'Connell is noticing things aren't going as well as it was the first few weeks, and he wants to get back to maintaining the football, having consistent drives, taking your shots when you can, but just trying to get the defense off balance in any way possible. So hearing Justin Jefferson say that today kind of gives me hope that O'Connell's noticing these things and he's making changes. So again, you do got to run the football, but also just a lot of those, was it Maddie earlier said, like, you got to just do some quick passes, some quick outs, slants, that type of stuff. And like we saw that a lot of the stuff we were doing on those first drives, which again, O'Connell is one of the best scripted play callers in the league, right? Those first 15 plays against the Rams were fantastic. It was everything we wanted to see: slants, quick, running the football, getting back to the pass. It was effective. There was a rhythm to the offense, and you could just notice it watching. That's what we need to get to, but not just for the first quarter. This needs to be all game long. So just do what you did in those scripted plays. Be aggressive. If they adjust back. Get the ball to Jefferson. Get the ball to your playmakers. And again, we'll talk about Darnold in a bit here, but this to me, this almost isn't like keys to victory. This is almost keys to just getting the season back on track in general. And that is just show me something on offense. Show me that you're evolving as a play caller and as an offense. Show me that you're willing to make changes to how you've been doing things to keep things more aggressive and more consistent. And it sounds like he's going to do that. So I want to see it. I want to see effective runs, and I want to see Sam getting the ball out quickly and take your shots when you have to. Quit being so predictable and just be aggressive and play like you do in those first 15 plays. You can do it. And we've seen it. So I'm excited to hear Justin Jefferson say that. I think we're finally going to see a little bit of a change this week.
If I feel like KOC plays get more basic by the years, the only thing he makes is elaborate is the receivers roaches. The beginning of the games, though, the beginning of the games, it looks good.
It does, but it doesn't really feel like it's getting like, it doesn't feel like it's getting more basic as time goes on. It kind of feels like the same stuff that we've seen for the last couple seasons under him.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. It doesn't really seem like anything's changed too much. Overall, though, I mean, you know how I feel.
Offense could be good.
I'm with you, though. I mean, he has to go out in these games and just be aggressive. And you said, like, this game feels like this is more about getting back on track than it is. And it really just starts with beating the Colts, and not just beating them. Like, this is a team. If we're going to be the team we were in the beginning of the year, anything like that, we should absolutely go and smash the shit out of a Colts team. Joe Flacco, I know we probably rather play against Anthony Richardson, which is crazy because a lot of people thought he was going to be really good. But even though the thing with Anthony Richardson, though, is like, it was obvious that he was going to, it was going to take time and develop for a player like him. And I know, like, I think a lot of us were surprised that the Colts even said that they thought he was ready by the start of last season, and then he goes down with the injury or whatever. So I knew it would take a while, whatever. That's why you have to be careful of starting quarterbacks so early and things like that. Anyways, but Joe Flacco, obviously, I know our track record against veteran quarterbacks or whatever, it's not great, but I mean, this dude was not on a single team prior to, you know, the Colts going and grabbing him. And then what we saw from the Browns last year. And he should not be that big of an issue. Out of all the quarterbacks that we've played this year, he's easily the worst behind Daniel Jones, or in front of Daniel Jones, probably the only one, right? So ultimately, I don't know, man. I do think this is a game the Vikings need to we should whoop their ass. If we want to be even a close victory, like if it ends similar to what happened in those last games, but we win, we're still sitting here like, I don't know,
Yeah, but
being aggressive is a good start.
For the offense overall,
What up,
this Colts defense not very good. I mean, let's just go through the stats here. 24th against the pass, 227.8 yards per game. We already talked about the rush game, not good, 150 yards per game. Total defense, they're 28th, allowing 379 yards per game. They're kind of smack dab in the middle at 21.5 points per game as a total defense. So you can get after this defense. Kevin O'Connell's got to be aggressive, man. Just do what you do in those scripted plays, and everything's going to be just fine. We know you can do it. You have all the weapons in the world. But at the end of the day, he can call the best plays. Doesn't necessarily come down to him all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Does that bring us into number 3?
No. Number 3 is defense.
We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to offense, but we got to talk about this because I know Nick came in here right away talking about it. I saw Mark talking about it, and it's getting to the quarterback. Don't allow him to use his receivers. This is, if you were to boil down the last 2 games, you could boil it down to us on defense specifically, not bringing on the pass rush, but not getting to the quarterback. A lot of man coverage because we are bringing the blitz, but we're not getting there with the blitz, and them just destroying us short and in the middle of the field in the pass game, specifically having amazing completion percentages and things like that. So this game for sure on defense, the reality is Flores he is who he is. He's going to bring the blitz. I know people are going to be like, hey, you got to push off the blitz. He's not going to. He's going to bring the blitz, but he has to make sure he figures out a way to get home on these players. I know a lot of us want to see more Dallas Turner. Flores is saying that we're going to see some more Dallas Turner. The reality is, we know there's a lot of good pass rushers on this team, but if nobody's getting to him, then why not play Dallas Turner? At least try. And I know we've talked about this before about the trade deadline and getting a defensive interior lineman, and feeling like that's kind of like the biggest thing. And the reason why we're not really getting home is we're just not getting any pressure up the middle. Everything's coming from the sides, and with no pressure up the middle, the quarterbacks can kind of just step up and things like that. So.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I guess the one upside when it comes to Flacco playing as opposed to Richardson is like I think Nick mentioned it earlier. The dude's almost 40. You don't need to worry about Joe Flacco getting out of the pocket, but you still got to keep your lane integrity when you're rushing him. You got to make sure. I mean, because any veteran quarterback can roll out and make a throw if he has to. I'm sure Flacco's going to be just fine in that regard. So really, the biggest thing is get to him and rattle him. Like, you have to get a couple hits on him. And like you said, we've been trying to get to the quarterback the last couple of weeks, and we just have not been able to do it. And again, and we kind of said it coming into this year, our one concern was, yes, we felt like we had better pass rush, but if the pass rush doesn't get home, yes, we have some veteran corners, but we don't have the type that can hold up in man coverage for very long. And as we've seen, like the Colts right now, their main plan has to be, if they're going to blitz us, that's fine. Get Alec Pierce, get Josh Downs and slants out in the middle of the field where Blake Cashman isn't going to be, and try to beat us over the middle of short stuff. Like, you got to expect that this game. So I really think I trust that Flores is going to have a plan to combat that. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, they're going to try that a couple times, and their hope is eventually that'll bring the defense up and they can beat you over the top. You got to get back to what you're doing the first few weeks. You got to adjust, and I trust Flores to do that. But yeah, first and foremost, use your pressure, get after Joe Flacco, knock him on his ass a couple times, and that's going to change this whole game. So you got to get back to what we were doing well the first 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, and we were getting home on, like, in the early parts of the game, I think we're the number 1 pass rush team in the NFL. I think we had the most sacks, right, in the first few weeks there. And that's what, and then LDR, like, I don't know why we don't even give them a shot. I mean, obviously, they see more than us, but we're not getting enough there. And it's concerning because, and I know this cash. I was just going to say, in the cash, I mean, I do think it's a big deal, but even more than that is, like, if you're going to be a defensive coordinator that uses more blitzes than anybody in the NFL, then you need to get home. If you're not getting home, it doesn't matter if Cashman's in there or not, unless Cashman is
over the middle of the field. He would help.
In the field, it would definitely help. But still, if you're not getting home, your defense is going to get beat if you're never getting home when you're blitzing so often. I mean, Cashman isn't covering everybody, you know. I do think he's a significant player, but I think overall the problem isn't just him or isn't just that we're losing Cashman. It's literally that all the pressure and the blitzing and specifically the sacking is just not happening in these last couple weeks. And I do think that is I think that's the number one issue, even over Cashman. But
a big issue with that is offense is combating that, like knowing like, hey, they don't have anybody up the middle. If we can stop their edge rushers and throw some short stuff, we're going to be able to set everything up. So it's like, yes, you got to be yourself. Flores ain't going to change, but you got to have a plan knowing that they're going to, early on, they're going to try to dink and dunk over you and get you to move your defense up on them. So like, that's like, I think a lot of people, once they heard Flacco was starting, are more worried just because he is the vet and he's not afraid to just get the ball to the open receiver. He's not trying to make a big play like a young quarterback would. So I think that's why Flores needs to be careful here. Like, yes, get after him because he's not going to be able to move and you're going to be able to get to him because he's not going to be able to escape the pocket. But you do got to worry about the veteran mind and the veteran presence of Joe Flacco, just getting the ball out of his hands and getting it to his playmakers and letting them work. So, and Tony, we'll get to that. We'll get to that as well for sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
Turnovers,
and we can keep moving on here because that's obvious. I mean, especially without Cashman, is you just need to get to Flacco. And we knew this going into the season. We were worried about being able to put pressure on within the middle of the defense. And that's just going to be a problem no matter what. And we just got to figure it out. Unless we make some sort of big trade that it's hard to imagine is going to happen as far as those teams willing to give up on one of those players. But let's keep on going because the reality is like we should match up fine against the Colts. I think we should beat them on defense. I don't think we should see what happened to us these last two games against them, which again, I do think this is a game that kind of does come a lot on offense. And that brings us to Sam Darnold needs to use other weapons, get Addison and Hawk involved. That's one thing with Sam Darnold. And I know I saw Mark say that he's going to, it sucks. Yeah, I know we needed to get him back. But I remember Mark mentioned that he's going to be watching Sam Darnold's head specifically to see if he is making or going through his progressions and things like that, because it doesn't seem like that. Jordan Addison specifically, obviously he went through, his whole ordeal last week, whatever you feel like, if he meant that towards, his playing time, or if that's something from the past or whatever it is. One thing we know for sure is Jordan Addison. If I was Jordan Addison, I would be kind of pissed off whether he is or not. Hey, what's up, Dan?
What's going on, Dan?
But there's stats coming out here. I put that up a little bit more. There's stats coming out saying that Jordan Addison had the second most, or he created the second most separation of any wide receivers in the week last week. So that just shows that if he's getting that wide open and Sam Darnold's not finding him at all, because they're not using it at all. It's not just on Sam Darnold. So I'll just say I'll put KOC and Sam Darnold in this one, but Sam Darnold needs to look away from just Justin Jefferson, use him a lot early, but find ways to get other guys the ball like Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. And then from a play calling standpoint, you're not calling any plays specifically for a guy like Jordan Addison who can take advantage of those. I'm assuming once TJ Hawkinson comes back, you're going to see plays made up for him. I'm not as worried about Hawk because I just feel like tight ends, KOC's offense, tight ends are going to eat, especially if you're a TJ Hawkinson type. I'd be really surprised if we don't see a lot of targets towards his way, but you got a really good wide receiver here in Jordan Addison as well, and definitely need to figure out more ways to use him because it's just going to open up other elements to this offense.
Right. And here's the thing, Sam Darnold's been good. Sam Darnold's been better than expected, but Sam Darnold still needs to be better, right? It really seemed like the first 3 weeks, everything was free flowing. He was getting the ball out, just getting it, he was being the point guard of the offense, right? Just getting the ball to his playmakers. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maybe just Jefferson's like, oh, I need to stop having these 90-yard games comments. I don't know. But all season long, Sam Darnold he's like top of the league and holding on to the ball too long. He's taken a lot of sacks because of him not getting rid of the football. And it sounds like what people are noticing is, yes, Addison is open on a lot of plays. It's almost like, obviously you got Justin Jefferson, right? He's going to be the focal point of your offense. Kevin O'Connell's going to draw up plays to make Justin Jefferson the breadwinner of this offense. And it almost feels like, from what people are noticing, Darnold is focusing in on him. And the reason he's holding the ball so long is he's waiting to see, is Jefferson going to get open here? And then by that time, it's a sack or he's got to check it down. And then Addison, who's running wide open, just doesn't get involved in his head. Maybe doesn't make it all the way around. So, like, part of the thing you do wonder is Sam Darnold, like we said, playing really good football this year. But I think we still, and we've been, I mean, honestly, even some of the decisions he would make at certain points early on, we're starting to see we're seeing the reasons why Darnold is on his 5th team in 7 years, right? We're seeing that the things that have made him, you know, what people consider to be a bust of a number 3 overall pick. Like, yes, playing really, really well, operating the offense efficiently, but just holding on to the ball too long. And again, I think honing in on Justin Jefferson too much, which is causing some of the sacks and some of the plays that just aren't working out and causing some of the frustration with the offense where other guys just aren't being involved. So Darnold just needs to just play loose again. And I think, again, Kevin O'Connell's done a great job of mitigating the mistakes of Sam Darnold, you know, as Darnold's talked about early on in the season, taking one play at a time and not letting bad plays stack up. But again, like, the numbers look good, but they could be so much better if he would just, you know, sometimes realize that Justin Jefferson's going to draw so much attention that you don't even need to draw a play up for Addison. He's going to have one-on-one coverage and he's going to find a way to get open. So I think a lot of this, yes, some of it does come down to O'Connell. I think a lot of it does come down to Darnold just being quicker with the progressions, not always having to get the ball to JJ, and just literally using JJ as a decoy sometimes to go to your other receivers. And having Hawkinson back is going to be such a huge thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you can go with JJ, Addison, Hawkinson, and Naylor all on the field at the same time, you're going to be just fine. But like I said, basically with Darnold, just you're good, but just be a little bit better. Just get back to playing free like you were the first few weeks. Involve all your receivers, and everything's going to be just fine. And this with what we pointed out with this Colts defense, this is a great get right game in general. Just get this offense free flowing and back on track again. So,
yeah. And just to talk about Addison's maturity level, I'm not concerned yet. Obviously, he's young. He's definitely done a couple of stupid things. Yeah. I would follow at least that 3-strike rule if he comes out and there's something else that's big again or whatever. But he's young. I think he's going to be all right. I do think when he came out after and had his little interview after everything that happened, I felt like he said all the right things and stuff like that. But no, that's what we're talking about, establish the run. And it feels like if I'm KOC and I'm running this offense in the beginning of the game, I mean, if you can get the ball into Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones' hands, meaning establishing the run there, if you can do that as much as possible early, it could just set everything else up as far as TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison goes. And then once you get the ball in their hands, you want to get Justin Jefferson the ball a lot so you can kind of create him as a decoy, but then you have to take advantage of him as a decoy. And once you do that, then that's just going to open up Justin Jefferson up again. So it's like, I think early on, feed Aaron Jones, feed Justin Jefferson, use that to open up Addison and Hawkinson, and then just jump back and forth. I think that is the best way to do it. So, because so far, like, it's been good. In the last game, it was like we came out throwing it to Justin Jefferson a lot, came out throwing it to Aaron Jones, or having Aaron Jones. Well, Aaron Jones didn't make a nice catch last week, which is really nice to have him in the passing game. But we don't use him a lot there, actually, and probably we could use him a little bit better there. But using Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson a lot early, and then the ball isn't going to anybody else. The ball wasn't going to Addison or anybody else afterwards when your offense starts to become pretty.
Yeah, then it just kind of reverted to status quo, right? Run, deep shot. Play out or deep shot, hold on to the ball too long, that type of stuff. So yeah, exactly. It's just. I mean, it all just comes down to not having to force feed Jefferson. And I really like what you said there. I mean, that's the perfect way. That's exactly what you use a guy like Justin Jefferson for in those scripted plays. If you get it to him in the first 15, like you said, it's going to open up everybody else for the rest of the game, and even open up Justin Jefferson even more later on. So, and I think we'll get through to that. I mean, obviously, Addison. I think with the injuries, I don't know if Darnold has the full amount of trust in Jordan Addison, obviously, just because he was out during a lot of, the early on practices after the injuries and joint practices. He had the injury early on this season. So I do think a bigger part of the problem is just Darnold, and Darnold doesn't have that full trust in Jordan Addison. But if you want to go far this season and go far in the playoffs, Addison is far too talented to not get the ball to. So you got to figure out a way to do it. So
right, and that's on KOC too, of just getting I know we need to get the ball into Justin Jefferson's hands, but also make sure it gets into Jordan Addison's too, especially once you're using Justin Jefferson so much. Like then it just becomes obvious, So
Sure.
those one things, but that's a big one, and hopefully we do see that. I feel like if we spread the ball around, there's so much talent, and I see here with Mark. Yeah, Lemma, I didn't like the draft speech, but I'm a big Addison fan. But yeah, I'm a huge Addison fan too. I think he's a really special player, and I think he's really good. But and it's obvious. And I think he's really good. I was questioning like the last couple of weeks, like why is he not getting involved? Is he not getting open or anything like that? Because I wasn't really paying attention to his routes or anything specifically. And then just seeing that he's, creating separation on 91% of his routes, showing that he is getting open. So it does come down to Sam Darnold and needing to get him the ball. And then Kevin O'Connell, like I said, creating plays specifically made for Jordan Addison at times, because he's a player that should be involved that way, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, D-Bass? That's what happens when you pay a non-quarterback $1 gazillion a year. He's going to get thrown to all the time.
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
I'd have done it 11 times out of 10. Done 11 times out of 10.
I would have. I mean, $1 gazillion, you definitely, on a rookie contract. I mean, Justin Jefferson proves why he should. He's that good. But the problem is you just need to learn how to spread the ball around away from him, because that's what's so good about having a player like that is everybody's going to lock on him at some point, which will give you the chance to spread it to other players, something we just haven't done, especially in the last couple of weeks here. Again, everybody, giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. auto rookie card. Get the hashtag Skol in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. We only have 8 entries in this so far, so this is going to be, we'll get a lot of people in this duck race here, and this is one of the better cards that we're giving away, so get the hashtag Skol in the comments. Jordan Addison should be in the first 15 at least 2 times just to keep exactly. And if you are feeding Jets and he's doing what he did last week, then it's like, then you for sure have to just change things up, like use Justin Jefferson as a decoy to create everything for everybody else, but then once you do that, then it opens things. It just, I don't know. You just got to do it. You got to do it. And Hawkinson by himself, I don't know what will happen with Jordan Addison. Hopefully we open things up for him. But I do feel, whether we do or not, even though I 100% think we need to, I do think TJ Hawkinson will get his plays and he will get the ball a lot. He's a quarterback's best friend. And I do think that alone is going to, just between Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, is going to open up a lot of things. But you can't forget that Jordan Addison can even open up more, and there should really be a trio there
for sure.
Jamie, you think that it's coming? Yeah, and I mean, who knows? It's a whole different ball game when, obviously I'm sitting here behind a computer talking about it, and I'm sure Kevin O'Connell could be in here and say the same damn thing, which is different in the NFL when you're on the field, though the best coaches do that shit, right? So at the same time, I'm like, you don't really get an excuse. Like, maybe if I'm on the field, maybe I'm a bitch on the field and I'm not going for it on 4th in a big moment or something like that. But there's guys out there that do it. And that's what you're supposed to do if you're going to be a head coach. You can't be a bitch of a head coach. I just don't think you can. But if you want to get receivers open, run the ball well, that way safety has to, and that too, man, it's throwing them all in there. We got all the talent to do all of that. So.
Yeah. Speaking of establishing the run, that is the one thing that this defense the last couple of weeks has not been able to do, which is our number one key to victory, and that is stop Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Jonathan Taylor last week coming off 5.3 per carry, over 100, I think 120 yards for this Colts offense. And if you want to talk about a running back opening up the offense for the quarterback to be able to make throws, I mean, with a guy like Joe Flacco and a veteran presence as he is, I mean, if they can get the run going, that's going to make Joe Flacco absolutely lethal. I mean, obviously, numbers-wise, the Vikings still one of the top defenses in the league against the run. We're 3rd, allowing 83.9 yards per game. But the last couple of weeks, I mean, especially against the Lions, I mean, we let Jahmyr Gibbs, even though there's a hold, go off of that huge touchdown. They ran for over 100 against us. I don't think Kyron Williams quite hit 100 yards last week, but he was still running effectively. So, and with the defense that had been so good against the run as of late, or early on in the season, as of late, it has been a struggle. Whatever we were doing, and I think especially in the run game, missing Cashman, I think is the biggest reason for the kind of the collapse of the run defense as of late.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sure. Right, but you got to stop Jonathan Taylor. I mean, again, because like I said, with a quarterback like Joe Flacco back there, if they can establish the run, Flacco's going to have the full complement of their offense to operate against our defense here. So. Yeah, I guess I don't know, man. That's my biggest thing with this game. That's my biggest worry is just how ineffective we've been against the run as of late. My biggest worry is what Jonathan Taylor could do to this defense. So you gotta find a way to stop Jonathan Taylor. That's my main key this week.
Yeah, and I agree here. Joe Flacco is old. Obviously, don't sleep on him at all, and don't sleep on their wide receivers at all. But just like our side of the ball, and just like T. Bassett is saying, is establishing the run. We talked about it early for the Vikings is huge to open everything up. That's Jonathan Taylor's role on that offense, and you could see how that offense kind of took a hit for sure when he was out, and they didn't have like Sermon, and I think the other guy, I forgot what his name is, starts with a G. The other running back kind of was able to like get that offense going a little bit more, but Trey Sermon wasn't really doing a lot, and it really hurt their offense. So Jonathan Taylor's back. Obviously, if you can stop him, we should be able to slow down that offense. It's kind of different than, because it's like the Lions. I mean, it is similar to a Lions offense where they're going to establish the run and everything, and to open everything up for the wide receivers, where the Rams was kind of like the wide receivers opened up everything for Kyron Williams. It's going to run through Jonathan Taylor, so you got to stop him, everything you can do.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And then, keys to victory. This probably could be actually number one, and we probably should have it on the list, is stop the fucking penalties. Stop the penalties on third down on defense, and stop the pre-snap penalties on offense. And I think that alone, we might be 7-0 if we were able to get that figured out. This point.
And I think a lot of that does come down to A, the lulls in the second quarter once those scripted plays are done, and B, the reason why Kevin O'Connell, it does sound like he's trying to simplify things as it comes to offensive play calling after those scripted plays. Because I do think, again, I don't want to say dumbed down in a way, but I do think a lot of the play calls do need to be dumbed down to where there's not so much that's going on at the line of scrimmage, and basically Darnold goes up there, 2 plays in mind, gets up to the line, gets it figured out, runs the play, gets rid of the ball. Like, that's the type of stuff we need to see. And I think a lot of times, like, a lot of the pre-snap motions are what lead to the illegal formations and the false starts and all that type of stuff. So with Kevin O'Connell saying he's going to try to simplify things, or at least from what Justin Jefferson said, and just let them play ball, I think that's going to be one of the best things that can happen for this offense. I'm excited to see it. Dude,
100%. Anyways, let's keep on rolling here. We're going to do our Skol Gauntlet. Boom. We got everything we need here. Here's the topics for today. Cam Robinson trade, more trades, potentially. Hawkinson impact, biggest concern, X factor, bold prediction for this game, all that good stuff. Let's jump right into it. Actually, give me a second here. Let me know when you're ready, Casey.
I'm ready whenever.
All right, let's do it. All right, starting with Cam Robinson. Let's get it. 3, 2, 1.
So
Boom.
Obviously, I mean, Cam Robinson, it felt like a pretty big need. Like Quessenberry, yes, he's a good backup, hasn't played much this year. At least with Cam Robinson, you're getting a guy that has starting experience first off. It has a lot of starting experience this year. He's played a lot. So that's good. Plus, you're only giving up 26 picks. It doesn't excite me, though, because, like, I know we had to do it, but it sucks that we had to do it. I would have much rather seen a defensive player, which we'll talk about in the next section here. But, like, I get why we had to do it, and it's a good thing we did it. Doesn't really excite me, but I think he's going to be solid for this offense.
For me, obviously, the same thing. You wish you didn't have to go out and grab a left tackle. He's not going to be able to replace Darrisaw's shoes, though. You got to feel it's nice for Darrisaw to go down and Kwesi and them in the front office to care enough where they immediately went and got a guy who will be better than anyone else on this roster in that spot. So ultimately, I respect the move. That means the Vikings are really in to try to make a run this year, and yeah, you got to just like that.
For sure. As for more trades, I would love to see it. I would love to see some help on that defense, mainly defensive line, corner if you can get a guy. But when it comes down to my thought process, and I think you'll agree with this, the only way I want to give up 2025 draft capital is if you're getting a younger player or a player with more years on his contract. The DJ Jones of the world, some of these cornerbacks, the Jonathan Jones. If you're going to go trade for those guys to help you this year, I only want to see 2026 picks. So many limited in 2025, but still, right. I'd give up 2 first-rounders for Dexter Lawrence. I doubt we're going to get him, though.
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, I'm on board with that. Like, if you're going to go and get a guy go like I'm kind of boomer bust with this. Like I think you go and get a defensive interior guy that you might pay a couple first round picks that's going to be here for 4 years, or I'm not even sure you even make the move. I don't know if there's a defensive interior that we can honestly feel like we could actually get that will make an impact on this defense. And with cornerbacks, I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah. DJ Reed would be cool though if we could get him. Hawkinson impact though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
take
what
him.
Hawkinson is going to do to this offense. Again, it all comes down to Sam Darnold just getting the ball out of his hands and getting the ball to his playmakers. But the thing with Hawkinson is if things aren't open downfield, Hawkinson is going to give that nice short option and big body tight end, good hands, good run after catch. I think Darnold's going to find comfort in that, knowing, hey, if it's not open downfield, get the ball to TJ Hawkinson. He's one of the top paid tight ends in the league for a reason. He's going to get the job done. Pumped to have him back.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying earlier is that's why I think it's going to be so big for him. And we're saying like you need to get Hawkinson and Addison involved. I think Addison, we really need to get involved. I think Hawkinson is just going to fit like a glove. He's going to be a best friend to Sam Darnold. It's going to be an easy player to catch in the middle of the field, something we're not doing a lot. We're not getting a lot of those like 8-yard turnaround throws. And that's something that Hawkinson can do. And honestly, at this point, add a couple tight end screens because we need to just do a couple different things, I think, with this offense. And I think TJ Hawkinson will do that for us.
For sure. Biggest concern for me, I would say, going against the veteran and Joe Flacco, but for me, my biggest concern is being able to stop the run. Defensively, it is kind of a concern, and it's fair to be concerned about the team as a whole right now until they show us any different. But yeah, my biggest concern is stopping Jonathan Taylor. Like I said, I mean, I think actually he might be like 5.1 yards per carry on the season. For sure, it was somewhere around their last game. So the dude's a good running back. We're seeing that. Like I know he's been hurt a little bit, but stop Jonathan Taylor, please. I don't want to see any run gashing this game.
And I could easily go Jonathan Taylor too, and I would have to agree with you on that. Like we need to stop him. But if we don't, I think I'm worried about us getting home. I do think it's really concerning that we've struggled to get any sacks, especially against an offensive line like the Rams last week, and we just could not get one. I know the Colts, they're known. They've been known for years to not have a bad one. They used to have a really good one. I don't know how all that's looking like for them right now, but getting to Joe Flacco.
Yeah. X Factor. I'm going to take your guy. I'm going Jordan Addison. I think, and the reason that Jordan Addison is the X Factor is because you could go with the run game since the Colts are bad against the run, but this offense is going to take a huge leap forward and get back on track for the rest of the season if Sam Darnold and Jordan Addison just build that connection. And all of that starts with getting Jordan Addison the ball. The Colts don't have a great pass defense either. Get Jordan Addison involved, open up the rest of the offense, build the chemistry. Got to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the guy that we're talking about. Obviously, Addison, you do got to get him involved. But Hawkinson, I just think he's going to be that type of player where you bring him in. I know the Colts are going to have to worry about him, but still, because he's coming off of injury, you might be slacking on that game plan against him. And I just feel like we're going to use him so much, and it's just going to bring a different element to this offense, not just from having him from a skill standpoint, but just having another player that I think Sam Darnold will have trust in.
Yeah, I'm going back to your guy again for my bold prediction. Jordan Addison over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whether or not you think he meant anything from it, whether or not you think it was all about he's been using free three since college and it was just a whatever. No matter what, as they say, squeaky wheel gets the grease. I personally don't think it's nothing, and I think that it's noticed. And I think it's going to be a push to this offense to get the ball to more of your playmakers. I think Addison after this last week has a huge game. Plus, I didn't trade him in fantasy for that reason.
My bold prediction, I'm sticking with TJ Hawkinson. I know, that other dude that was on here earlier said 2 touchdowns. No, I'm going to double down with what he said there. And I think TJ Hawkinson's going to come and make a big impact in this game right away with 2 touchdowns. One is going to be a red zone tight end, typical type of touchdown, but I think we're also going to see like a 30-yarder from him and something like that. So 2 touchdowns for TJ Hawkinson, and that does it for the Skol Gauntlet. Again, everybody in here giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto. Gotta be here to win, but get those hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into some score predictions. Obviously, you just got it. Let me go through here real quick. So do we know the tiebreakers right now? If the Packers win Sunday, the Vikings, Lions, and Packers would be 1-1. The Packers win. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know that for sure right now. It doesn't even matter because we're not losing another game inside the division this year. Hopefully. Yes, we need to beef up the front, dude. The 100
Yep.
it's what we got. We're gonna struggle no matter what. If we don't have someone, we knew it before the season started. If we don't have someone that can create some sort of pass rush within the middle of the defense, our defensive line, we're gonna have struggles throughout the year with that, and it's showing now.
I would have been like, honestly, when it came back to the draft last year,
Facts,
look, we could talk about Dallas Turner too, how we want to see him play a little bit more. Like, I like Dallas Turner. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. I honestly would have been perfectly fine had the Vikings stood pat at 23 after drafting JJ McCarthy at 10, stood pat at 23 and grabbed Johnny Newton to beef up the inside of that defensive line. I'd have been cool with that. The edge rusher thing, I thought after the signings in the offseason, going after Dallas Turner was a little bit odd, but I understand why you did it. But I definitely would have been okay with us not trading up to go get Dallas Turner, sticking at 23 and getting Johnny Newton. That'd have been the dream draft for me. I still think Dallas Turner is going to be a great player, but yeah, the middle of the defensive line is a concern. It was going into this year. It still is now. And I think it's where they need to aim round one next year. They may have gone corner. I don't know. But yeah, defensive interior is a major concern. And we're seeing it all over the place that they just don't have that guy in the middle. Love me some Harrison Phillips, but the guy's not a true blue nose tackle type. He's just a really, really good defensive tackle, but we still need an impact player in the middle. But can't do anything about it now unless you make a trade. I don't know if we're going to.
Yeah, that's something that, like, no matter what, regardless of what happens this season, you're going into this offseason with cornerback and defensive interior is your number one goals, whether that's through the draft or free agency. You have money. I feel like if we're in a spot where we can get a good defensive interior, you got to go that direction in the draft. If not, you might just have to settle with a cornerback there. Because I know there's this upcoming free agency is definitely more cornerback heavy than it is defensive interior heavy, because nobody wants to get rid of good defensive interiors because they're just that important to the league nowadays. So
give me some Mason Graham, but he's probably going early on in the first round.
But. Anyway, some more score predictions. I know Gary, hey, sweet, what up, my guy? I know Gary said Will Riker, and I know my guy Darren will definitely we'll be talking about some Will Riker, but fear not, y'all. We got Will kicking victories. I know I want him to get in a spot where he actually is kicking. Not this right now. Like, just hit those daggers, whatever. I don't want to get in position right now that he even has to kick a game winner. But too bad in these last couple of weeks he didn't even get a shot to do that. Because it'll be interesting because this kid does not miss, and I feel pretty confident every time he goes, but there's still that little part of me is like, all right, is this going to be the one? Like, now we're just waiting until he actually misses one. But every single time he kicks it, it's just like perfectly right down the middle. So that's huge there. So one prediction I got already is I'm going to say Will Riker, 2 field goals. One of them is going to be over 55 yards. Obviously I said TJ Hawkinson for 2 touchdowns. I think Aaron Jones will have, we'll say 100. I'm going to give Justin Jefferson a touchdown and over 100 yards. 2 weeks in a row over 100 yards. Hopefully even more than that, but let's not jinx him. He's unjinxable, Nick. Yeah, he's unjinxable. I just feel like it's true with him. He's just unjinxable.
So what's the score prediction? What do you got there?
Score prediction. I do think we come back and we are the team we're supposed to be. I thought after the first few weeks, like we're legit. Like, this isn't just some sort of like 2022 season where we're just like coming back in these games and it felt kind of fluky. Like, those first like 4 games felt legit. And a lot of that comes from the defense. I think our defense will get back on track. We're not playing 2 of the best offenses and offensive talent in the entire NFL. That is the Rams offense and the Lions offense. So I do think we come back in this game and look a lot like we did in the first few weeks. So I'm going to say we win this. And I do think KOC is going to be aggressive. So I'm going to say we win this 35-14.
Okay. I like it. I guess I already gave Addison a ton of yards. I think that's just going to be a smaller scope of the offense as a whole. I think the offense explodes this game. I think we go for 350 to 400 total yards. And I'm giving us, like, I like that 31-17 prediction I had for the last game. So yeah. I think I'm going to stick right around that. 31-17, win by 2 touchdowns. I think, again, I think the offense really goes off this game. I think the defense holds the Colts offense in check. They get theirs from time to time. But at the end of the day, I think the Vikings find a way to get this one done, get back on track with a 2-touchdown win on Sunday Night Football when the whole world's going to be watching. And we're bringing those good feelings back. People can quit doubting us again. And we're going on a stretch after that. We play Jacksonville, Tennessee, and then go to Chicago. It'll be some fun games. So
we just steamroll some teams for a little bit, gain that confidence up, and then go back and smack everybody in the division one more time. And I know we have the Bears twice too coming up after all those. So it should be interesting. The Falcons game obviously is going to be wild. I mean, after this 3 games is when everything kind of gets back to being interesting again for us. So
you just plug your ears, people. Kirk's playing some pretty good football.
One more time, I'm going to show this video that I already showed once, just because for people that weren't in here the first time, I worked hard on it. Might as well show it one more time here. So let's do it. Anybody seeing this is a score prediction. So let's do it one time quick for anyone that did not see this, even though I don't know how to take off my thing. All right, there we go. Let's do it.
For my first prediction, Justin Jefferson is a creature unleashed to terrorize the Colts' hapless defense. With the 60.4 pass rate and the Colts allowing a horrifying 9.3 yards per target, the highest in the league, Jefferson will feast on every inch of their territory. Under the dark cover of the dome, nothing stopped him from storming past 150 yards. Jefferson will haunt their secondary all night. Next, the air thickens as Darnold carves his way to over 3 touchdowns in this perfect setup. The Colts secondary bleeds the second highest completion rate, 76.5%, while the Vikings red zone pass rate of 57.8% feeds him endless chances to strike. With 130 plays of pain projected, Darnold will unleash an inferno, scorching the end zone time and time again. And then we've got TJ Hawkinson, who's been summoned back into the lineup to wreak havoc in the red zone against a defense ranked among the least worst against tight ends. His path to 2 touchdowns is lined with despair, no escape, no salvation, just an inescapable path into the end zone. And lastly, Flacco's nightmare unfolds against a relentless Vikings defense with the highest interception rate in the league. As a 5-point underdog, Flacco will be forced to test this defense, only to throw his soul and the ball into darkness. Flacco will surrender over 3 interceptions to the Vikings, sealing his fate. Minnesota Vikings win 33-10. Oh yeah, and Jamie's takes suck and he's a little bitch.
Damn, I forgot about that part.
Guy's kind of mean.
I know, he's kind of a dick. Hey, what's going on? My guy, Rap in the building. Hey, Rap. Hey, stick around real quick. We're giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. auto rookie card coming up here. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Get it in. We're about to give this thing away. We'll do the old duck race again. Let's get it. What's going on, De Niro Jones? Let's go. He was kind of a Nick. That's funny. Get those hashtag Skols in. I'm due for a win. Did you do one? Did you do a hashtag Skol, Darren? Oh, I see it. I think. Oh no, I don't know if I see it. Get the hashtag Skols in.
Does it drop from Twitter?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it takes Twitter as well. I'm pretty sure it does. I don't know if anyone's won from Twitter yet. But we'll find out here. We'll find out. And De Niro, you do have to make sure the Skol is spelt correctly, because otherwise the thing I use might not take it. Never been in a duck race. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to bring it up. We'll get it rolling. Anybody in here, they can still keep it going, and you got to be here to make it into the duck race. Let me get this up though. We pick anybody that's not been or seen it before. We pick 5 names, got to be here to make it into the duck race. Those 5 names get put into the duck race, and whoever wins that wins the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto. Yeah, dude, let's get it here. Starting with the first name, boom. Vikings girl in the building. Welcome in. Justin, I don't know if I caught you earlier, but welcome in, dude. Appreciate you. I always bet on red. Adam, I don't know if you're in here still. I haven't seen you in a while.
Darren, let's say he kicks one from 58 yards this week.
I did guess over 55, but for some reason, I just feel like it's not going to be a huge field goal game for us because we should just smack the shit out of
At
them.
least one. For my
Yeah, at least one.
17, gotta have at least one.
Yeah, at least one. Adam, I'll keep it rolling though. Adam, if you're in here, I know it's been a minute, so let's keep on going here. Come on, who we got next? And it is boom, Mark. Let's go, Mark. Mark, have you made it into a duck race yet?
I thought he just said he hasn't won anything yet, right?
Adam, was he say that? Where you at? All right,
Maybe I could be wrong.
let's keep it going. I don't see Adam yet, even though he's my guy too. But y'all know the rules. Yes, but lost. Okay.
Darren,
he gets in there too. Let's keep it going.
Still no Adam yet.
Who we got next? Dan, are you in here?
He was here about a minute ago.
Oh, you should still be in here then. I'll keep it going. Dan, let us know. Let's keep it going here. What we got? Boom. FT Maddie. One of y'all got to be in here. FT Maddie. Dan was just in here. FT Maddie. It has been a minute. Oh, not that long ago. Not actually that long ago. So I don't think Adam's popping up here. What's that?
Maddie's here.
Maddie here. Okay. Is he actually pooping? Who doesn't? Is he? Never mind. Like, does he not bring the phone with him into the bathroom? Maybe not. Is that a weird thing to do? I don't do it if it is.
Normal.
I don't do it if it is weird, you know? Fuck that. Right. Fuck that if it's weird.
Not weird at all.
Hey, Dan.
It's like the modern day newspaper.
Oh, what the heck? All right. So I guess, Gary, am I waiting for Adam, you think?
Give him 10 seconds.
Pooping.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, right. He did make it. He got up. You better go back and finish, my guy. All right. We got all of the names here. Let me actually, before I... Boom. I don't even know. No, Adam's won before. I don't know if he's won one of these duck races, though. All right. I'll share my screen. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. All right. All right, we got it. What does ask you? Here, let's go. All right, 45 seconds. Y'all know the rules. Whoever comes in first wins the Ivan Pace Jr. Rookie Auto. I like the names that we got in here. What are we feeling? I want the kinky duck. We'll see if we get it.
Have we done 6 for 6-2 yet for winning 6 games? I think we have, right?
I'm pretty sure we have. I'm sure we have. We could do it again. Hasn't been lucky yet. Well, I mean, maybe.
More.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty lame ducks.
7. One more.
Oh, there was a Viking duck. There's the witch duck. These are boring.
Okay, that's a little better. One more. Okay.
We got some stuff in here. I mean, 2 lame ducks. Mark's a lame duck. He wanted the kink duck, but one more. I just feel like.
Ooh.
All right. I mean, I feel like Statue of Liberty. I feel like whoever that's based off of could have, you know.
You're probably okay.
I don't know who it is, but you know, back in the day. All right. Anyways, can I use my own live ducks?
You can.
Yeah, you gotta ship them to me. I thought I had a bun in my mouth.
It does kind of look like that.
That's funny. All right, let's get it going here. 3, 2, 1, boom. For the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto. Let's get it. Too evil in the building. We just missed you, my guy. Welcome in. FT Matty in the early lead. I think it's between him and Dan. Man, this is tight. This is slow. It's usually not this slow for everybody. Like FT Matty's slowly moving. Everybody's just moving at the same speed.
Someone's
What's on
gotta
my
make a
head?
move here. Who's gonna do it?
You're the
Oh,
queen. Oh, Adam's
Adam's
catching it. The bumblebee duck.
Oh, boy,
13
Adam's
seconds
going
left.
hard.
Oh, Adam's coming. Someone's gonna. Darren and Mark could bounce off the wall here. We've seen it before, over and over again. Dan's
Oh,
trying
Darren.
to push up.
Here comes
Mark
Darren.
wants
Oh,
it.
Mark. Okay,
Mark said he
got it.
hasn't won
Mark
one
got
yet,
it.
and he's getting
Mark
one
got
now,
it.
and he's getting a good
Mark
one.
got it.
Mark, my guy, gets the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie auto. Saved his win for a good one. Let's go. Let's go. Mark, hit us up. It's always been on red. Let's go. Hit us up on my email for a good address to send this card to. I'll put this in here right now. Or whatever. Reach me out however you want to, but this is probably the easiest. Let's go. Congrats, dude.
Absolutely. Anything else on this game? Big one. Just get the W. That's all I care about. Win.
Yeah, get the
Give me some
W,
good- give me some good-
smash.
Give me some good feelings going. We're gonna be good.
And you know, it'll be interesting because based on how this game's going, we'll have a lot to talk about on Monday as far as trade deadline goes. If we absolutely dominate the Colts, I feel like you might see a big move happen. It feels like a lot of what we do at the trade deadline is going to depend a lot on how the outcome of this game.
Right.
So,
Like sometimes you maybe wonder, is there even like is there like a hush hush deal in place? Like, hey, if this happens with your team, this happens with our team, Monday we'll come together, get it done. Who knows?
Yeah.
Would love to see it. But yeah, either way.
appreciate you, Darren.
Sunday, make sure you guys will be on Bleacher Report directly after the game, so make sure you join us there. Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Let's go get the W. But yeah, if nothing else,
Let's
we
do it.
appreciate everybody for hopping in here tonight. Yeah, big game Sunday. We'll talk about it next Monday right here on the GG Sports Podcast.
Skol Vikes.